Good evening. Good evening. Oh, we just want to say thank you for joining us this evening. You know what time it is. It is the first Thursday of the month. Can you believe it? We are in the month of April. Oh my goodness. It seems as if we just came in, but we are now in the month of April. And we want to thank you for joining us. We have some faithful people who listen to us every first Thursday. And I just want to say thank you. Again, I want to ask you that you hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button because you do not want to miss any of these shows. I want to talk this evening, about life after month, not week broadcast, and we talk with individuals about different things. That they share their testimony. This broadcast is designed for individuals to share their testimony, what God has done for them. And this afternoon, I want to spend a few minutes. I want to spend a few minutes with you to talk about life. Talk about life. God has blessed. God has blessed. And again, I thank God for all of the listening audience that are out there. This God all the honor and all the glory for what He has done. But again, this evening I want to spend some time talking about life. I don't know if individuals, some of us really takes life serious, but I just want to be a little bit transparent, if that's something that I can word that I can use this evening. I want to be a little bit transparent this evening. The Lord has blessed. The Lord has blessed my wife and I last month, March 16th, to celebrate 27 years of marriage. Oh, you didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. God has blessed my wife and I to celebrate 27 years of marriage. And I give God all the honor and all the glory. Sometimes we look at life and we just take life for granted. But I want to thank God for life. And I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Miss Angela, my lovely wife. Because we got married on March 16, 1997. We got married, and we took a vow. And the vow says, until death do part. Until death do part. Life is very precious. Life is very precious. You may say, Mark, why, Bible patrolman, why are you saying that? Why are you talking about life? you know and I want to shout out. I want to shout out to those spouses, those wives that are out there, those wives that are out there that are willing to hang around with their husband through thick and thin. No, you didn't hear me. I want to thank those wives who are willing to hang around with their husband through thick and thin. Life is very precious. And why am I saying this? Because I want to share this with you as I talk on last on in February. Around the first week or the second week in February, something was going on with my body. Oh, we're talking about life. Something was going on with my body, with my digestive system, and I couldn't figure out what was happening. But one thing that I did remember when I was a child growing up on the island of Jamaica. I was growing up in Jamaica. I periodically I would suffer with a stomach problem, and no one could actually find out what was going on, what was actually going on with my stomach. And so it just we did several tests and everything, and no one could actually concrete what was going on with my stomach. And so after I came to the United States of America, the Lord has blessed, the Lord blessed, where I totally changed my eating habit. I changed my eating habit. I took on the lifestyle of what you would call a vegan. A vegan is a person who decided that they were going to eat no animal product, no animal product. They are just going to stick with a plant-based diet, And so I chose to took that route when I came to the United States, to go on a plant-based diet. And we're talking about the goodness of God. And I said, that's what I attributed to my lifestyle that I adopted when I came to the United States of America. And as I adopted this lifestyle, I found out that my stomach problem was not there, it was not present, as I was when I was in Jamaica. And I thank God. But when I came to this country here, the lovely United States of America. I came here 1987. 1987, I came to this country, and it was probably about twice within the span of me being here that I had any issue with my stomach. And again, I said I think I attributed it to the lifestyle that I was living. And so I give God all the glory for what He has done through because God says if you do what is right, He will protect you. And so you have to be obedient to God's word. And I try my best to be obedient. Fast forward, and we're talking about life. We're talking about life. Life is precious. And so February of this year, the same pain that I was experiencing while I was in the island of Jamaica as a child came back in February of this year. And I thought, I want to say it was excruciating pain. When I tell you about pain, it was so painful that I couldn't stand it. And this is where I thank God that you have a godly wife and a loving wife and a caring wife. Oh, I thank God for her that she was there by my side. She tried everything that she could try to give me some relief. Oh, life. When you are in pain, you just want to get relief. You just appreciate life even better, because what you think, while you're there in pain, sometimes the pain is so painful that you think that you are getting ready to check out of here. Oh, somebody know what I'm talking about today. We are just testifying and talking about the goodness of God and what He has done. And I just trying to be a little bit transparent this afternoon to show what God has done in my life. And so here I'm in pain, and there is nothing seemingly that you could take over the counter to get any relief. And so I was trying my best with the help of my wife to kind of stick it out. It's kind of sticking out, but sometimes you says that you have reached a boiling point. You reached a boiling point, and I couldn't take it no more. It got to the point where the bowels was not moving freely, and so now I got a little bit concerned, but I was still trying to stick it out. But when the pain got to a high level, oh help me, when the pain got to a high level, I told my wife, and I said, bless her heart, because she is willing to stick with me through the thick and through the thin. But as I look back and I see my life and see, when you're going through some of these things, you don't know if you're going to make it to the next day. And so it helps you to appreciate life even more, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You don't know if you're going to lay down tonight and you are going to wake up the next morning. And so you want to make sure that you get your house in order. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. And so there I am in pain. And I'm saying, I tried my best to stick it out, to stick out this pain that I've been going through. But when I woke up one morning, I said to my wife, my lovely wife, I can't take this pain no more. I'm going to my doctor. I'm going to my doctor, and so she took me to the doctor's office, and we went to the doctor's office, and we explained to the doctor what was going on with me. Oh, help me! And as we explained to the doctor what was going on, and she started to do the various tests and different things that she could have done, and so she made some recommendation that I could do. There's some things that she recommended for me to take. But one of the things that she says that we can do some blood work, and also we can do an x-ray. This is up to you if you want to do that. And I tell you, I was there in the doctor's office, and I wanted to make sure, because she was willing to say that she could send me home and give me some things over the counter that I could do to get some relief. But I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what was going on with my stomach, because as I said, I was in so much pain. And so the doctor recommended, for those of you who are just joining, this is the Bible Patrolman First Thursday testimony broadcast, where we share testimony week after month. We bring on individuals to share their testimony. But I've decided this evening that this afternoon that I want to be a little bit transparent. I want to be a little bit transparent, because some individuals have been calling, because for one thing, I normally, for those who know about the Bible Patrolman, I send out a devotion every morning from Monday through Friday. I send out devotion, and some people were not getting their devotion, and they were calling to find out what is going on with the Bible Patrolman. Why is he not sending out the devotion? Because we are depending on the daily devotion every morning. And if you would like to get on that devotion every morning, just text the Bible Patrolman at 901-650-2697 and just says, add me to the daily devotion Monday through Friday. All right, so get back. So people have been calling and asking what is going on with the Bible Patrolman, because they're not hearing from the Bible Patrolman in the devotion. And so I'm there at the doctor's office, and while I'm there at the doctor's office, as I said, the doctor recommended some things, but she was not persistent that she was going to do these things that she recommended. She left it up to my wife and I to see if we wanted. But I said, I'm not leaving out of this doctor's office until I knew exactly what was going on. So whatever test, whatever x-ray, whatever you have to do, we need to get to the bottom of what is going on here. And so the doctor did a blood work, did some blood work. There's a test that they do, and they did some x-ray. All right. So I'm sitting there now while I'm waiting for the results to come back, and it took a little while for the results to come back. And while I'm waiting there, the doctor, she walks into the room, and she, sometimes they says, you want to give you the good news first, the good news first, and then they give you the bad news. Which one you want to hear first? But I want to give a shout out to my doctor. I think I have one of the best doctor on this side of earth. I thank God because God have put a knowledge into individuals, and she is a very caring and loving person. She will take the time out to make sure that you understand everything. She's not rushing when it comes into the office. She takes her time with you like you are the only patient there for the day. But I would think that she treats everyone. I'm not that special that she would go above and beyond to treat me that way. But I would think that because that is her demeanor, that she would treat a patient of that nature. And so she came back into the room, and first she says that the X-ray, she said to us that she's not an expert on the X-ray. Someone else has to read the X-ray, and she would call me. But so far, the X-ray does not show anything that is wrong with me. Oh, praise be to God for that. But when she referred to now the blood work, when she referred to the blood work, she found out that there was a type of bacteria that was lodged in my gut, in my intestine. And so this is what was causing the pain, that all the discomfort that I was in. And so my first thought is to find out how did I get this bacteria. And to be honest with you, the doctor says that no one can actually put a finger on where this bacteria came from. But nevertheless, the bacteria now is present in my gut. And so she says that we have to do something about it, but God is able. So from there, they put me on a 14-day antibiotic. They put me on for 14 days, and I took those antibiotics for 14 days. And after the 14 days, I would see if there is any relief. And I want to say, but with the help of God, because there is no magic. There is no magic in these medicine unless God allow it to work. And so they gave me the antibiotic that I had to take for 14 days. I took those antibiotics for 14 days. And while I was taking those antibiotics, remember I said that I was having a little problem because, as I said, my bowels was not moving as fast as they needed to. They were not moving. And so as I was on this antibiotic, one night, I got up because I was still going through. I was in some kind of discomfort. Even though I was now on the antibiotic, I was in still in some discomfort while the antibiotic is going. One morning, I got up and I was in so much pain, and then I saw some indication that would alarm me. Some indication that would alarm me. Give me an alarm. And so I said to my wife, we need to go through the emergency room. We need to go through the emergency room. And so my wife rushed me to the emergency room. She rushed me, and when we got to the emergency room, I want to tell you, I've been to the emergency room before, but I just want to give a shout out to those people there in at the emergency room. Boy, I tell you, this hospital was at the top of the game. Everybody is like, and again, God takes care of His people. It's like I was a celebrity walking into this hospital, and everyone. It seems like I have 20 individuals was assisting me at one time, and they took me in, and I explained to them what is going on, and that I was on some antibiotic and all these different things. Again, they says, let's do some blood work. They do some blood work, and they did a CAT scan, because, as I said, there was some indication that alarmed me. And so they did the CAT scan, and they did the blood work. And when I'm waiting there, because when you go to the emergency room and you are waiting for the results, they tell you that the CAT scan result can take up to 2 hours. The blood work can take up to an hour. And so I tell you, we're talking today about life. I want to tell you, I was laying there in the hospital, and as I was laying there in the hospital, not knowing what the CAT scan is going to show, what the blood work is going to come back with. And so I'm laying there in the hospital, and I had time. My wife was sitting there, and I thank God again for my lovely wife. She is there with me through the thick and the thin. Remember now, we have just celebrated 27 years of marriage. 27 years of marriage. And here now she is spending the next day after our anniversary. She's spending it with me in the hospital, there at the hospital by my side, not knowing what the result is going to be coming back from the doctor. And all we can do is just pray. We don't know what the CAT scan is going to show. We don't know what the blood work is going to reveal this time, because things were not looking in my favor. And so while I'm there laying on the bed, there's a lot of things that is just going through my head. Lord, did I make my calling on election sure? Am I getting ready to check out of here? But one thing, oh, help me, Holy Ghost, one thing that I was able to talk to the Lord, because if anyone knows the Bible patrolman, knows about the Bible patrolman is about witnessing. The Bible patrolman is about sharing the love of God with individuals. It does not matter who he come in contact with. And while I was laying there on the hospital bed, I had a little time there to talk with God. And I said, God, if there is no one else for the Bible patrolman to reach, if there is no one else, if the Bible patrolman has finished his job, then Father, it is time for you to allow me to go to sleep. Oh, you didn't hear me. Oh, and so I'm there on the hospital bed waiting for the doctor and all the other attendees to come back to give me the results. And so I'm there. But while I'm there, I'm not just laying there idle. I'm talking to God, because now life is precious. Life is precious. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Do I have some very terminal illness that is only going to allow me to be around for a few more days? I don't know, but you have time to reflect. I may be talking to somebody right now who have gotten a diagnosis from the doctor, and you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But I want to tell you, you can communicate with God. And I tell you, while I was laying there on the hospital bed, I had time. My wife was praying, and I could see the concern on her face. And because we do not know what the doctor is going to say when he walk in. And so we were there for approximately about 2.5 hours in the emergency room, laying on that bed, had time to talk to God and just understand that God is still by your side. But oh, help me, Holy Ghost. And so while I'm there reflecting and talking to God about what is going on with my body, and just couldn't understand what was going on, here comes the doctor. It is a hush usher. You could hear a pin. You could hear a pin drop in the emergency room, because now but it walks in. And as the doctor walks in, the doctor says to us, to my wife and I want to tell you everything is okay. The blood work is top notch. Everything, we do not see anything wrong in your blood work. We do not see anything, any turn of bleeding or nothing going on in the CAT scan. Oh, and I would just you don't know the joy that came over me, and we would just start shouting right there in the emergency room, because we knew that God has given us one more chance at life, one more day, for because there is someone out there to witness to. And so we left out of the emergency room shouting and knowing that God has taken care of the problem, because we were a little bit alarmed of some of the things that we saw, and we was very alarmed. But the doctor came in and gave us the assurance. And sometimes people think that the doctors, some of them are monsters. They are not any good. But I thank God, because God has given good doctors out there. There are doctors out there who are concerned about your well-being, and we have to realize that knowledge comes from God, and God has given these wonderful doctors the ability to diagnose and to know what is going on with your body. So I left the emergency room feeling a lot better, knowing that there is nothing internal. But here we still have this. Remember, I said that this bacteria, it is still there, and so they told me to take the finish taking all the antibiotic, and then after that the problem should subside, the pain and everything should go away. And I want to say to you today, I finished taking those antibiotics, but one of the things, as I've been getting different counsel after I finished taking the antibiotics, I've been talking to a lot of different natural allopathic doctors and different things. And one of the things that they recommended that you would do in order to help to get out some of the bacteria that is there, we have to do a rebuilding of the gut. And so rebuilding of the gut. And I want to tell you, after I finished took the antibiotic, I decided that I wanted to start all over. You said, Pastor Hyde, Bible Patrolman, how did you start all over? I decided that for 10 days, I needed to go on what you call a cleanse. I need to go on a cleanse, because I did not want any residue of the bacteria to still be lodging after the 14 days. The bacteria did its job, and so it did there, but I wanted to make sure that my gut, and so I wanted to kind of do it the natural way, the God natural way. And so what I did for 10 days, with the help of some good friends that called, I don't know if you're familiar, well, some of you may not be familiar, but there is several natural health facility all throughout this country. There are some in Georgia, there are some in Alabama, there are some in Tennessee, and so I chose to talk to one of them, the one in Tennessee. And if some of you are familiar or know about a meat ministry, that's MEET ministry, a meat ministry. And so I talked to them, run by one called Dr. Thomas Jackson, and those who work with him. And so we were there. And so this is where it comes in, because for 10 days I was off the grid. I was off the grid. And that's why individual was asking the question, oh, where is the Bible Patrolman? Why is he not sending out texts? But I wanted that time to concentrate and talk to God, and to get a total healing by doing it the natural way. And I want to tell you, those 10 days was a refreshing, very refreshing. And I thank God again. I said, we talking about life. I thank God for my wife, as she watched me go through those days, the different treatment, the different things that I had to do for those 10 days. And I want to testify to you and let you know today, I am a brand new man. God has blessed me. One of the things that I said, I thought that I was eating properly, for the last 27 years, 28 years. I think that I was eating properly, but I've learned that there are some things that even though I thought that I was eating properly, there were some things that I was violating. There's some things that I was doing. One of the things that I found out by just going through this 10-day program, and somebody out there may understand what I'm saying. There are several food groups that you cannot combine together. And when you combine some of these food groups together, they will cause problem in the digestive system. And so these are some of the things that I was learning, that certain things that I can't combine. Oh, but if you want some more information about where that is concerned, my wife she's the expert where that is concerned. But you can call 901-650-2697, and she can go into more details and tell you some of those things, because she is the nutritionist. She is the one that focus on these areas. I'm just the Bible patrol man. I just want to point individuals to Jesus. That's all I'm concerned about. But I have to take care of my health, and I want to tell you, for those 10 days, it was revive I want to use the correct word here. It was an intriguing 10 days, never to say the less. But I came out shouting. I came out shouting after those 10 days. I've been back to my doctor, and so my doctor check, and everything is seemingly going fine thus far, and we give God the glory. There is no pain. I'm eating. Oh, to God be the glory. And so I just wanted to testify and let people know that God is still in the blessing business. God is still in the saving business. There may be somebody this afternoon who is going through. They have gone to the doctor. They have gotten a diagnosis, and they know what to do. But I want to tell you that life is precious. Every moment that you have breath in your mouth, you need to connect with God. Do not wait until you are on that hospital bed and you don't know what the next move is going to be. Then you are going to say, oh God, talk to God. You need to have a relationship with God 24/7, in the good days and in the bad days. Oh, I thank God for what he has done in my life thus far, and what he is continuing to do in my life. I know that there is still somebody out there that the Bible patrolman needs to get in contact with. And if you come across my path, guess what? The Bible patrolman is going to share the love of God with you. I want to say to somebody, hold on. Don't give up. You may be having pains, and the doctors may not even know what the pain. I'm so glad that they were able to diagnose and know exactly what my pain, when I discover what my pain was, because as I said, these were the same symptoms that I was having in my childhood. And when the doctor told me exactly what was going on with my stomach, guess what? Oh, as soon as I came out the doctor's office, I picked up the phone and I called my mother. And when I called my mother, I says, Mom, I want to tell you, remember all those times you took me to the hospital and we couldn't find out what was going on? God has blessed that now they found out exactly what is going on in my stomach. And she was just shouting and praising God that at least somebody knows now what is going on and how we need to deal with this. And there are natural ways of how to deal with these different bacteria. And I thank God for individuals who God has given the ability and the know-how to deal with things naturally. God has done the conventional way. There are people who knows about the medicine. I'm not knocking medicine, because medicine is important. God has given these doctors knowledge of how to heal and how to do certain things. But every good thing comes from God. And at the same time, as I said, there are natural ways of how you can rectify some of these problems. One of the things that was recommended to me, and the Bible says about it, whenever you have a sickness, it's very rare, and we can talk about it. There are like two incidents that I can go to in the Bible that does not have a source. One of them is Job. You know the story about Job, and there was another story in the Bible when Jesus healed the boy that was blind, and everyone was asking the question, who sinned? And Jesus says no one sinned. This was because for Jesus' purpose that he should heal. And so what am I saying? 99.9 times, whenever a disease or something is going on in your body, it is because you have violated one of God's natural laws. It's because you have violated one of God's natural laws. So the Bible teaches that one of the things that we must do, we must ascertain the cause. There are a lot of times where doctors or nurses or whoever, all we treat is the symptoms. We treat the symptoms. And so we do not find the root cause of what caused the problem. When you find out what caused the problem, then you can treat that. And so one of the things that I was glad for was that I found out what the problem was, but I now need to go back and I need to find out what were some of the things that I could have done wrong, maybe to trigger or to do that. What was kind of lifestyle or anything. But one thing that I do know, that the Bible, that God, by talking to God, this is a spiritual war that Pastor Hyde, the Bible patrolman, was kind of going through. Even the physical symptoms were there, but I want to let the enemy know, by God's grace, no weapon that is formed against the Bible patrolman is going to last, because of God, the Bible patrolman is going to keep on trotting. And I thank God for those of you out there in listening land who have been praying for Bible patrolman, those of you who have been calling the Bible patrolman and say, Bible patrolman, we are praying for you, we are thanking God for you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for praying for me, and just to call. Some of you text, and so I give God all the honor and all the glory, even because if it were not for him, I would not be here this evening. To God be the glory. For those of you who have not subscribed, I ask that you subscribe, because the Bible Patrolman is on the first Thursday of every month. He's on with a testimony. This evening, I just decided that I want to be a little bit transparent, because individuals have been asking what is going on with the Bible Patrolman. Oh, the Bible Patrolman, is he okay? But I want to tell you that God has seen me through, and I'm here to testify. We are going to continue on the battlefield for the Lord. There are souls out there to be saved. There are souls out there to be warned that we are living in the last day. And I don't think that God is finished with me yet. Am I giving up? No, I'm not giving up. I'm holding on unto his unchanging hand. Listening audience, be faithful unto the end. But precious, life is precious. Take advantage of what you have today. Tomorrow is not promised. Again, I want to go back. I want to thank my lovely wife for hanging in there with me for 27 years. But this 27 years was a little bit different. She spent it with me in the hospital. She spent it with me in the doctor's office. But I'm going to have to make up back this 27. I don't know how I can make it up, but I'm going to have to make it up for my wife. There sticking with, and she is still making sure that I am doing the things that the doctors have asked me to do. Sometimes I must be honest with you, it is not easy, some of the things that they have asked, but I thank God that I have a lovely wife who is willing to walk by my side to see to it that I'm in the best of health, so that I can do what God has called me here on this earth to do. May God bless you. Thank you again again for tuning into this broadcast. This is the first Thursday broadcast with the Bible Patrolman. Until next month, I look forward again to tune in with you. Tell someone that the Bible Patrolman is on the first Thursday. I pray that this testimony has been a blessing. If you want to talk to my wife about any health counseling or anything, give me a call at 901-650-2697, and I will be glad to turn her on to you. May God bless you as you go through the rest of this afternoon. Until next month, may God bless you.